this dude is? Hold on, let me call this dude real quick.
What's up? What's up?
Yo, what's up, Remy, man? You late, bruh.
No. I'm not late, man. Y'all got Elson over there throwing snow everywhere, man.
Yo, that's wild, man. What you talking about, man? Oh, so y'all Florida boys can't do the snow, huh?
Nah, not like that. Y'all got me over here running on 2 tires. I don't know what that's all about.
All right, man. Dang, that's why you can't make it out.
Yeah, man. Plus, I gotta finish up some duty stuff back here at the unit. But I would have loved to have been there. Y'all know I'm gonna be back next episode, and I hope y'all have a good episode and talk about some good stuff.
All right, bet, bro. Next time we got you.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all.
All right, see you, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Inalienable Ideations. You know who I am, Sean Go. I have one of my hosts here with me today, Miss Liv. She's over here. Guess what? We have a couple guests here. We have Mr. Qua'rren Pruitt-Murry right here. This guy is a subject matter expert on the matters of financial management and investing. He's got degrees. He's educated, well-informed, a lot of leadership responsibilities that he has taken, and he knows exactly what we're talking about today in the topics, right? The other person we have is Ms. Jordan Buchter. She's a third-generation Navy or military child that is also in the military herself. So she has a very unique perspective that she's bringing to the podcast. We're really excited to have these people here. When we created this podcast idea about a year and some change ago, our goal was to create a platform for leadership, for other people who are coming in that are more junior than us, to have a platform to talk on topics and to connect with other people. And I think that we're going to have an excellent opportunity to showcase that full display here with the 4 people. All right, so we're going to lock right into it. We also have some special callers that are going to be calling in from the West Coast, Miss Ashley Whitlow. You know, so it's going to be a good podcast, really good podcast. All right, so like I said, we're going to do microaggressions and financial management for junior members or people that are just starting out in their careers. They don't have to be military, anybody. All right, so I'm going to ask these questions to Jordan and Qua'rren and, you know, see what their thoughts are on it, and we'll just let the conversation flow from there and just kind of like guide it along naturally. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
That's good? All right. All right, let's go. Jordan, I have a question for you first. All right, so you've been in a family that has a lot of experience in the military, right? 3 generations. And I'm sure they had to deal with some microaggressions at some point in time. So what like, how did that prepare you for learning how to deal with microaggressions?
Honestly, I don't really feel like that it prepared me at all, honestly. So I did, all of my family, at least most of my family, is in the military. And they have shared experiences with us as far as like their children and what they've gone through during their time in the military. But I don't think really anything can prepare you for the situation when you're in it.
So like, when you say that, like when you're in it, like you say it like you know something, like did you experience something that, what's in it mean to you when it comes to microaggressions?
Like in the moment that it's happening to you, or when you recognize that, oh wow, this person just really just said that. Like, surprisingly, I haven't had as many experiences in the military. Definitely had them in high school. Like I had some teacher or administrator touch my hair and be like, "Oh my God, your hair is really like beautiful. It's really tamed." And I was trying to figure out what she meant by that. Now, high school me is definitely different than me now. I would have been a lot more expressive.
Uppity.
Not uppity. Uppity is definitely not the word. But
Downity?
downity, definitely downity. I would have reacted a lot different than what I react now. And even now, if it does happen, most of the time I don't even register that it's happening.
Okay.
Only because I have the mindset like especially when I'm at work, that whatever happens, I don't care. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't affect my paycheck. It doesn't affect me going home. So there's no point to react to it, or there's no point to give it energy.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. So I would ask you, Qua'rren, excuse me, Mr. Pruitt-Murry.
You can call me Q.
Okay, well, I can call you Q.
I like
on
all
this?
my, all the units I've been at, and all the professional settings I've been at, everyone calls me Q. So once they know, that's what I go by. So it's fine. Q is fine.
Okay, I appreciate it, man. So we call you Q for the rest of this. So when she's talking about this experience she had, can you kind of break down to us what's happening? Like, what's the book definition of a microaggression from your perspective?
I mean, so from what I've learned, microaggressions really is just, a subtle discriminatory message based on gender, race, age, that matters. So, that's basically like the, plain dictionary definition, if you want to say. But it was interesting, hearing like your side of it. I know on my side, like I went to like a PWI.
Okay.
So
what does that stand for?
So for those that don't know, a PWI is a predominantly white institution.
Okay.
So in terms of our people, Black Americans, in my school we only made up, I think it was 8%, and then the rest, mostly was like white. It was like 75 or to 80% white, male and female. And so like we all knew each other, so it was like that kind of close community. But there's a lot of things that I faced in terms of like microaggressions and things of that nature. So I kind of have like a different experience with it, and even in the Coast Guard too. Like especially from my first unit, like I've experienced like subtle, microaggressions. The thing is, like I do understand your testament to it too as well, because it was like if it doesn't affect your paycheck, if it doesn't affect your ability to go home, does it really matter? But at the end of the day, like microaggressions do matter, like because it does affect your mentality, as well as retention rates, for a lot of people, because, if you're not, feeling well enough to actually produce the product that you're actually going towards, therefore you're not going to be able to do the job at hand. And that's like the most important thing. So I do understand your testament as well, for sure. But, I feel like every, Black American, whether you're in the military or not, you've experienced some type of form of microaggression. It's just whether you acknowledge it or not, kind of sort of thing. So I think it's very prevalent, especially here in America.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had something to say about it, Jordan?
Yes, I did. So definitely it does matter, and that wasn't the point that I was trying to get across. It definitely does matter. I'm saying for me specifically, I am the type of person that, how do I explain it? Definitely when I was younger and more junior or in high school, I was definitely more the type to like fly off the mouth. Okay. Very bad. Okay. Very bad. My attitude was very bad, and my anger level, like it will start from like nothing to 100 real quick. I know now that I'm the type of person that I can't be put in those situations to express my anger, especially in the military. So when I say that, to me, I had to go with that mindset, like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect my paycheck. I do that for my sanity and for my safety, as far as, like, when it comes to my pay grade or my paycheck. Because if not, I will go to mass.
Right. No, I understand.
I will go to mass.
She about it.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that at all.
100%.
So that's why I came from it. Like, it's not that it doesn't matter, it's that I can't react to it. I don't have the luxury to react to it.
Nah, I mean, I really get that. Like, I guess I've always kind of been a little bit strategic myself, personally. Like, I can remember, so I guess if you want to call microaggression story, would have been like when I was stationed. So I had just joined the military, right? And I was a student out in Petaluma. And for those who don't know, Petaluma is like in the middle of nowhere. So, you go from being around your family, they shoot you out to boot camp, you get slammed for 2 months, and then they send you out in the middle of nowhere, and you around llamas and mountain lions.
Llamas is crazy.
Llamas.
Llamas is
So
crazy.
it might as well have been a
I
llama.
never seen.
Did it
Llama's
spit at
kinda
you?
crazy.
Yeah,
too.
listen, if I
Llamas
got
for
close
sure.
enough, I'm sure it would have,
Yeah, no.
So,
100%.
but like, yeah, so we out there in the middle of nowhere without, I'm away from everyone. I graduated from an HBCU, so past 4 years before that, I was used to being around my people, or I should say, people that look like me, because all people are my people. But I get into the Coast Guard, and I'm around nothing but, for the most part, white people, from various places around the country, and so I'm in school for electronics technicians with some of the geeky, more nerdy.
Very quiet, very
Yeah, different, but okay, that's not a little bit too much, but we're gonna calm down. So, it's just more like the competition for class rank means a lot more because you know what I'm saying? Because people are, it's like, oh, we're in the smart people class, so whoever's at the top, that means a lot. You know what I mean? So I was number one in my class for like the hardest part of the class.
Give you
Hey man, I appreciate it,
that is
man.
like-
Yeah.
Round of applause,
that's
round of
something.
applause.
That's something to really be proud of. Honestly.
Yeah, it didn't last, but
But you were there.
but I was there for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
matters.
You made your mark.
You know, but real talk, the reason it didn't last because I broke my ankle while I was out there, right? Yeah, hooping, of course, I was hooping.
Also, he was handicapped.
That's listen, microaggression that she just did. Yeah, listen, like the one hurt person in the class. That's what happened. Like I had a roommate, him and I were cool up until that point, but I didn't know that they had some hidden aggression underneath because I'm the one black guy in the class and I was number one, so. Every time I would see him after I had my, I'm on my crutches, limping along, trying to make, especially in Petaluma.
Whole little taint.
Your arms have to be really strong.
Listen,
That's crazy.
the reason they saying that is because they got hills in Petaluma. I'm talking about it's,
Hilly.
Upcline,
Like,
decline real fast.
yeah, there's a reason
they
there's,
get in the class the long way. On crutches.
yo, it was
I do
crazy.
not
Easy
envy
test,
you.
no problem.
Yeah.
Push-ups, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
So that's why my arms got bigger than my legs out there, but I didn't miss leg day. I couldn't use my legs. But anyway, they kept clowning me, every time I see him. So the way I handle microaggressions like this, I'm gonna give you 3 times. I have a number in my head. I'm gonna be like, okay, you excuse my language. You mess with me. I'm not gonna say the real word. You mess with me 3 times. I'm gonna let it pass. I ain't gonna let you know it bothered me. I'm gonna be like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna laugh it off with you. It's dope. But then after I see you trying to make this a point, I'm gonna have to do something. You gotta stand your ground a little bit. You know.
Better than me.
Yeah. like I said, I'm strategic. I'm a chess player. That's just me. So he hits me 3 times with it. This is my roommate. This is my boy. I'm thinking like, yo, the one white dude that's there, that's cool.
They your roommate, they
Listen.
not your boy. Like, you are not a roommate.
Yeah,
You room
I
with
mean,
them,
yeah.
they is not your people, man.
I don't talk to any of my roommates.
Hell
Listen.
no.
Immediately
Hell
we
no.
left. Immediate
Hell
graduation,
no.
it was like,
Freak
who are
is on
you?
your biscuit. No. They is, oh my
Yeah.
God, for real.
Respect,
Yeah.
but okay.
Absolutely.
Facts. So, but like for me, it was like, okay, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's just messing with me, but again, he kept going. So I was like, all right, cool. I gotta stand my ground. It's time to say something. I'm thinking in my mind, next time you do it, I'm gonna just be stern. But it just so happened he hit me on the day I was off, And we were, I remember like he walked in. We were in the galley. You probably remember the galley in Petaluma. So we're. Now they got good food
The
there.
pineapples and the watermelon.
Yeah.
Smack always with the salad
The
bar.
salad bar.
Yeah.
Oh, they used to always smack.
Because they got our CSs are there. You know what I'm saying? That's where we train our CS. Or
Depending on what class of CS.
yeah.
You gotta get time. If you get that junior class,
time.
your chicken pink.
Chicken pink is cool.
Yeah.
Raw beef.
Okay, you gotta go off base. Okay?
Look, I
Put
think
it
we
in
should
now.
stop because we can have a whole segment on damn military cooking.
Yeah, for real.
that's
So
true.
CS stands for culinary specialist. For those of you who don't know, in the Coast Guard, that means those are the people that cook our food, prepare our meals. So with the ETs, which is what I was, electronics technician, and the CSs, we would get taught in the same place, which is Petaluma. So, we're in the galley. I'm sitting down on my little crutches, you know what I'm saying, chilling. And next thing I know, here come my roommate. I'm like, he ain't gonna say nothing again. He done. Nope. Little cripple, there he is again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Like, really? Out loud?
no, that's how they were doing the whole time.
wow.
Yeah, I told you there was underlying animosity because the one black guy in the class,
Right.
he's on top, and this is where I kind of feel for them. I kind of feel for them because as a white person, you're supposedly expected to be
It's an innate feeling.
an innate feeling that they're supposed, but in reality, a lot of them were not coming from a better background than me. So in reality, I should have been
Right.
one of the top people, but because they white, they feel that pressure.
Right.
All their instructors looking at them like, yo, why y'all letting the black guy get on you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, exactly.
but and at the same time, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand where they're coming from, but I was just done at that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just so happened I have a fork next to me. I'm like, all right, I got to make a statement. Grab the fork. Yo, man, stop talking to me about my crippleness, man. Shut up. Right? So I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I grabbed the
No spoon, fork. Okay.
fork. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
Means business.
Means
yeah.
business, but I really was just trying to make a statement like, shut up. It
Right.
wasn't a real threat. He understood that. But he felt like he was threatened, so he was like, yo, you ain't gonna talk to me like nobody talked to me like that. Especially not no black guy.
Oh, he said that out loud.
Yeah, in front of the whole class.
Wow.
Wow.
But,
That's-
but see, you get what he thought about you the whole time.
Yeah.
Bingo.
The truth comes out
That
the whole
underlying-
time. The underlining feelings. That's really crazy though. That
Yeah.
he said that like completely out loud in front of everyone. So he
Facts.
felt comfortable enough to.
Yeah, he knew that everybody else was gonna be on his side.
Right.
Because nobody said a daggone thing.
Mm.
Nobody said a daggone thing.
Oh, wow.
It'd be your own
Because you
classmates.
are-
I'll tell you that.
Because I'm the marginalized person in that situation. Like, well, okay, if I jump on his side, now I got to fight the rest of them too.
Because the thing is, you got to think position of power. You said more position of power.
Exactly.
So,
So I, he said that, and I'm like, okay, so now he really trying to press me. I know exactly what he's trying to do. So what I did, I was like, all right, cool. This is the way you're gonna go. I said, yo, bruh, don't say nothing else to me. That's all I said. That's all I said. Remember, he got to sleep next to me.
right. This is really your roommate. It's not someone.
My
That's the
roommate.
scariest part.
That's actually kind of scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your roommate that makes you feel like that.
Well-
That's actually
You
kind
were
of
ready to leave A school early.
right.
Well, but I'm saying I flipped it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I said don't say nothing else to me, and I just stayed quiet.
Right.
So he was expecting me to be like flip.
Aggressive.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He
Like-
expected me to flip out,
Because they wanted
Fit
that.
the stereotype.
Fits the
You
stereotype.
get all uppity.
Yeah.
but I just said nah. Don't say nothing else to me.
Yeah.
And I ain't say nothing to him or the rest of the class for the next 4 days.
Okay.
So he's on pins and needles. Needless to say, I didn't have no more issues after that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna turn this around full circle as a moment though, because he did later on down the years, he's still in, and he hit me up on Messenger, and he let me know like, man, listen, at that point in time in my life, I didn't quite understand, but he let me know like, man, I'm those are not my real feelings. And like I said before that, he and I were really actually cool. I had my first drink of tequila actually with this guy. We went out camping. You know what I'm saying? Like my first drink ever.
Camping.
Out camping.
You was real optimistic.
Listen.
Okay? 'Cause
Nah, I ended up in the car because a big spider like crawled in the tent. Like
Spider-Man, I draw the line.
I was like, yo, the spider was like the size of my face. I'm done. Like, yeah, I told them, y'all stay out here with y'all tequila. I'm in the whip.
Crazy.
Yeah, but those people,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Wait, so I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so it's breaking it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all think that, and what your situation in particular, your experience in particular, do you guys think that's that's predominantly like a Coast Guard experience? And I ask this because from what I've experienced as far as the Coast Guard goes, I know I'm not in the Coast Guard, never have been affiliated
Big
with the
Coast.
Coast Guard. Don't lie like that. Anyways, but the type of things that I've experienced when it comes to dealing with the Coast Guard is definitely different from what I've experienced being in the Navy. Like,
Facts.
Oh yeah.
the Navy is definitely more when it comes diverse.
Right.
Like I think out of all, I've had 4 chiefs since I've been in. I've been in for about 5 years.
Oh,
I think I've had only 1 white chief, but the rest have been black, Hispanic.
don't get me started on them.
Hispanic.
anchors.
Look, let's not
I
talk
know what I
about
think.
because
I
you know
can't
my
even-
first
Yeah.
instance for real with the Coast
I
Guard
can't- ooh.
wasn't only with dealing with or coming in with CMAP, but it was like dealing with my neighbor who was a Coast Guard senior chief, and
I could snap
Look,
this glass right now.
Liv knows.
Yeah.
Liv knows the situation
I
I
remember
went
that
through with
story.
her.
Yeah.
And it was so bad. I had to walk over there with a glass of wine because I needed something to drink because I was just like, I can't go over there with my
insane.
nerves not bad. But back to my question though, do you guys think this is only like a Coast Guard predominant experience or issue because Coast Guard is predominantly white?
So, sorry, can I answer this
Yeah.
first? So, you are correct, like in all of your assessments. I do feel like the reason why is that it's the Navy. The Navy is huge in numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Big Navy.
So
Alright,
Coast Guard,
alright,
Big
Coast
Navy?
Guard,
alright.
I feel
Okay.
like our Coast Guard numbers are very small. So literally, when they say it's a small Coast Guard, it's a small guard. It really is. Like you will meet
Yeah.
everyone that like you probably met when you were a non-rate. You know what I mean? So it's such a small guard, and so I do think that's some part of the reason. Like our numbers are completely lower than any other military service. But I do think that what I've seen, in terms of just even talking to Navy officers, Army officers, Marine officers, I feel like there's a sense of entitlement in the Coast Guard that even if you're a first class or a senior chief, master chief, even if you're a chief, I think there's a sense of entitlement there that Navy, Marines, and Armies they just don't have. You know what I mean? Like it's really the entitlement factor, which is why, like for example, like the experience you face with the first time with the senior chief in the Coast Guard, I think that weighs heavily on them. And with that entitlement comes privilege. And so, like, you're very ignorant to the fact of the way the world works, the way the world is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, like, a huge key factor that we got to, like, think about when we, operate in these, Coast Guard settings.
Yeah.
So you definitely hit the nail on the head because I can distinctly remember, like, she had said something to me. What she say, Liv? She said, I have never had a service member or a member of the military talk to me the way that you talk to me. And I
Yeah,
had
she
to
didn't
remind
find
her-
it respectful.
She didn't find it respectful, and I had to remind her that this is technically what we were dealing with at the time was definitely a civilian type of issue. Like, we're neighbors, and you needed to talk to me a certain way, but the way that you decided to talk to me was that it was the senior chief on
It was
second
based
class.
off your rank. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
senior chief on second class, and
Right.
that's just not how this was going to go. Because for us, like, senior chiefs comes a dime a dozen. It really does. Or
Yeah.
chiefs just E7s to E9s in general come a dime a dozen. Let alone to be on the ship. Lord, like, we had, I think, at least, like, 5, 6 on the ship alone to deal with. And with me being my position in admin, like, all we dealt with was master chiefs and officers. So not necessarily my respect for them was, I would say, downgraded, but just in general, me dealing with them, like, I'm not scared.
It's easier.
Right.
Yeah,
It becomes
because
a habit.
typically, like, junior sailors or people who are fresh coming in, they're seeing, like, oh,
Also, too,
master chief.
Your
I'm a
family too, like your mom is a senior
Oh yeah,
chief,
definitely.
so-
My mom's a senior chief. My dad was a chief. My great aunt was a senior chief. And then even when I joined ROTC, like, I was raised by a master chief in ROTC. So my whole life, all I've been surrounded was the mess. So for her to come and to be like, oh, well, I'm a senior chief, so you gotta talk to me this way and third. I'm like, no. Like,
Seniors in her civvies.
But wait, but what led up to that though? I'm just trying to.
so what had happened, honestly, the whole situation is that me, when I come home, already going to work, I'm irritated, right? When I come home, for real, because me, I'm the type of person, like, I'm real heavily on people's emotions. So when I deal with people, their emotions towards me being a customer service rate, like, their emotions weigh heavily. You come at me wrong, I'm gonna respond wrong. You come at me the right way, I'm gonna help you out, like, the good Lord would help you. I'm good. It just depends on how you come to me. So dealing with people's emotions already all day, then staring at a computer screen all day, I'm tired. I'm irritated. I just want to be home. I want to relax. I want to decompress, right?
Right.
But she would catch me in those moments, like, right when I get out my car from work. I'm still in my uniform. I'm still in these tight boots and this heavy-ass uniform. I'm irritated. Like, I just want to go home And she would catch me right then and there and want to talk. And I told her that day, I was like, she was trying to talk to me. And I told her, I said, look, I really just, I'm not in the mood to talk to you. That's really what it was. I was not in the mood to talk to her.
So you try to address it, like, straight up.
Yeah, I told her, and that's always how I've been. I've always been the type of person, like, I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you how it is, and that's just what it is, right? So I tried to tell her, like, hey, look, I'm not in the mood to talk to you right now. And then I walked in the house. I was in the phone, and this time, like, somebody was parked. So in my area that I live in, we have assigned parking spots.
Okay.
But no, so I had basically told her, like, I'm not in the mood to talk to you. And how she responded was, but you're not in the mood? I said, yes, I'm not in the mood to talk to you. And so I walked in my house. Now, mind you, in my area, we have assigned parking spots. In my parking spot, I'm real particular about everything that I have, everything that I do. I'm really particular. So my parking spot is directly in front of my door. So when someone's parked in my parking spot, I'm pissed off. I'm like, who the hell? Ain't nobody paid mortgage in here but me.
Wait
so
a minute.
who parking in that spot but me, right?
Right.
Regardless. So that's just an irritant already. Again, it was not her fault initially. It was just irritated from work, irritated from that parking spot. Like, already I'm just not in the mood to talk to people. So when I expressed that to her, she got, I guess, defensive or something like that. She said, what? She said, you're not in the mood to talk to me. I said, yes. And then I walked in my house. Now, in the moment, I'm actually on the phone with Liv.
Okay.
Because Liv was supposed to be coming over. So I'm actually on the phone with Liv. I'm telling her, like, look, I'm irritated. I'm so angry. Like, I'm just, this, that, and the third. So I walked outside to go feed my dog. Because I feed her on the porch because I don't want her eating inside my house. I got carpet. So I feed her outside on the porch. And as I'm feeding her on the porch, so she's talking to my roommate at the time about her, like, her concerns and stuff like that, or whatever she got a problem with. And I'm not engaged in a conversation. I'm really just standing there listening. I'm not a part of the conversation. Just has nothing to do with me. Well, it does have something to do with me. Just at this moment in time, she was not addressing me. So I'm feeding my dog, or I put my dog's bowl outside. I let her outside and I let her do what her business is. And then she was like, oh, and you need to hear this too. So already, she addressed me. I'm already irritated. She addressed me aggressively. This is a situation for disaster. That's basically what it was. That's basically what it was.
So so she's addressing you in this situation, and what you're trying to express to us is that you've already had a long day. She's crossed several different boundaries already at this point. So do you hear anything in her story so far that tells you that she could have handled this differently?
On Jordan part, no. Like, Jordan
okay.
part, she's being very transparent on where she's at in that current moment. And so, like, for you as another human being to take that moment and hear that, I mean, you're not really listening to understand at that point. You're listening to respond. You're listening to get your own point across. So she really wanted to be known as, I'm senior chief of the Coast Guard, and this is what I think about what our situation is right here. And that's just totally disrespectful to not even consider, her point of view and things of that nature. So I don't think Jordan was wrong at all in that encounter, because, she already, set her stance, you know what I mean? So I don't think, there was a problem with her point of view of things. I feel like if you are a senior chief, you're supposed to act as such, and you weren't.
And then to fast forward a little bit in the story as well. So, because Liv had came over at this point. Like, she had already arrived here. She changed. She got ready. And when I tell you the whole conflict between me and her, or when she tried to talk to me, had me so mad. Like, I was shaking. And it takes me a lot now to get to that point, because I'm so aware of how my anger is adjusted and how I respond as far as, like, anger wise. Right. So it took me so long to actually get to that point. But the fact that I was able to get to that point was crazy already. So I was drinking wine. As soon as I came back in the house from talking to her, I poured me a little glass of wine.
Got
I
your
was
glass
like,
in.
had my little glass of wine. I said, "Oh Lord," I said, "I can't do this." But I'm shaking. I'm angry. And I took it. Like, I took a breath. I was like, and I told Liv, I said, I need to go talk to her. Right. I need to go let her know that not all this was on her, but the way that I responded to her was definitely her fault, because she kind of not
She overstepped
ignited.
your boundary. You said
She
you weren't in
did.
the mood,
100%.
and she kept going.
And then, like, and during that time that we were talking to, she had expressed, she was like, well, I'm a senior chief in the Coast Guard. And I told her bluntly, I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. I don't care that you're a senior chief.
She said, I don't care. She said that has nothing to do with us. We're at home.
Exactly. So, boom, Liv arrives. She changed. I had my glass of wine. Right? And then I tell Liv, I'm like, Liv, I have to go talk to her, but I need you to come with me. Because if I step to her wrong, I need you to be there to pull me back.
Okay, you had something you want to launch in there?
I just wanted. So she said that she was a senior chief in the Coast Guard. Did she ask you if you were in the military or not before that, or did she just assume?
No,
that you were in the military?
before that she already knew because she seen me come.
Okay.
Like she's my neighbor, so she seen me come home in my uniform.
Okay.
She knows what rank
So
I'm in.
she's
She
privy
knows
to
I'm in the
that
military.
information.
Yeah, she already
Okay,
knows.
cool. All right.
But Liv comes, let her know, like, look, I need to go talk to her. I'm irritated. I'm gonna need you to be there, not for her, but for me. Like, to monitor me, because not saying that I'm crazy or anything, but saying, like, I'm already irritated. I'm just trying to diffuse the situation. So we go over there. I knock on her door. Right? She comes out. Now, mind you, I'm half masked. I got my brown shirt on, my end-up pants on, and some slides.
Yeah,
Some
her
slides. My
it.
Crocs.
And a glass of wine.
And a glass of wine. Now, mind you, normally I would care, but I'm at home. Like, I've already walked into my house.
Right.
This is my neighborhood. This is where my car is parked. I'm home.
It was also like 5 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, because I had just came from work. So I'm home. I go knock on her door, and I let her know, like, I'm like, look, I said, not all of that was towards you, and I apologize for that. But the way that you came at me.
So you apologized to her?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I videoed the whole thing. Jordan apologized first.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
And
Senior was not going.
And I
Senior
apologized.
did not care.
I apologized, and I took my stance on it. I was like, look, I'm sorry, not all that was meant for you. However, comma, when you tried to pull rank on me and try to be like, well, I'm a senior chief and you're a second class, and I was like, that's not how this is going to go.
Right.
This is not a senior on YN2 moment. That's not what this is. This is a neighbor dispute, and that's what this is going to be.
So that brings up a good thing, and I would like to hear your thoughts, Liv or Qua'rren.
About the Chiefs?
Yeah, just about like, okay, so you're in the military, but then someone that's in the military lives near you, and so you have conflict in an out of uniform situation. Or I don't know if Ashley's on the phone still right now, but
She is.
she is.
Yeah, she's up there.
I'd be curious to hear your thoughts and Ashley's thoughts on that. I'll let Ashley go first. Like, well, so the question is, Ash, so you're in a situation where you're living around military people. You're in the military, active duty, so are they. And they are, so that there's a conflict or something like that, and they pull rank. How do you address and handle that situation?
Well, prior Army before the Coast Guard, military brat. Moved all over, lived on joint bases, did all kinds of cool stuff with other people, and then not cool stuff. So I have to agree with Jordan. I got in trouble one time for not saluting the colonel's wife coming out of the commissary, and I got made to push for like 30 push-ups.
What?
And it was just, yeah.
Saluting somebody's wife is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
The Army's a different beast.
Mm.
And
Wow.
it was pretty much understood that, we knew that was the colonel's wife. It's no different than the stories you hear at the gate. Those are all true.
Yep.
Okay.
And,
The dependas.
Yeah, it's a real thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I got humiliated and got embarrassed. And I never forgot that lesson, though, because I always remembered, it doesn't matter what their gender or their race or their rank was. If people want to make a fool out of you and come for you and you allow it, they're going to. I was 17, 18 years old. I was super young. So I just did what I was told, knocked out my push-ups, stood up, rendered a full salute, and walked into the commissary and continued on with my business. But I never forgot that lesson. So, like, if somebody wants something out of you and they have the power and the means to do it, they're going to. And listening to Jordan's story, if I could go back in time and I could tell my 18-year-old self, I would have said, Ashley, you should have just stood to her, woman to woman. You're grown, you signed dotted line, you're ready to deploy, so you're an adult. And respectfully, ma'am, I'm not required to salute you. Please have a good day.
Yeah, she's
And
not a
walked my
colonel.
Christian butt, right. It walked my Christian butt into the commissary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at pushing 40, that is exactly the conversation that I've had to have and will continue to always have. You can't even give the cliche line if you're not in my chain of command, because technically that colonel was. So I was smart enough to know that and not pop off with some cliche thing that's going to get you in even more trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with Jordan. It is you're acquiescing the person's expectations right off the jump, and you're showing the humility and the leadership and just being a grown adult. She admitted and she acknowledged right off the bat, hey, this energy wasn't for you, comma, but this other part was, and you need to check yourself. And I don't give a damn what your rank is, what service you're in. We all wear the same uniform. We all have the same fight, and it does come down to respect. She crossed lines and boundaries, and that was it. Right. I can't think of a different way that she would have handled that. Me at 18 years old also had a fiery mouth and popped off, and probably still do. Shut up, Liv.
That was added towards me. Yep.
Nowadays, we would have had a very different conversation, and I would have just called her out. Probably a little harsher than Jordan did. I think she handled that with some pretty good class and pretty good tact.
I tried this.
Especially being a woman, especially having very, very fair skin, and having, you guys were talking about microaggressions earlier, and to me that plays right into that hand.
Mm-hmm.
People look at you some type of way and they assume some type of thing, and they find out my first name is Ashley, and it allows them, and they give themselves permission to go along with the fact I must be whiter than blacker, and that's where they have their misstep, and I'm more than happy to escort them to some knowledge very quickly, because it doesn't matter how I speak, how I look, how I present. The fact of the matter is, Jordan's right. It's a matter of respect. And the minute you cross that line, that woman should have apologized. And notice I said woman, I didn't say senior chief.
Yeah.
That adult should have apologized, because that adult is more than likely older than Jordan.
Right.
So just be mature and just be an adult. Put all the rest of the labels to the side.
Yeah, that's a great point, I think, when it comes to microaggressions, because a lot of times, wouldn't you say like microaggressions kind of crosses that line of just basic human respect versus the rank aspect?
You're automatically at a disadvantage with people like that.
100%.
But I feel like that's the problem in the military. Like, they don't see us as humans first. They see us as
their rank is their excuse.
Sailors or coasties.
I'll forever stand behind that. Their rank is their excuse. They don't have to consider everything else.
So I always say, like, it's kind of like if you know, like, cops who like take advantage of what their title is, you know what I mean? Like usually like those type of cops usually are like they've gotten bullied and stuff like that, so they have a position of power where they can actually enact on it now. And I feel like that's kind of what it is, you know what I mean? Like it's like you get in this position where like now I'm a senior chief, you know, I may not have been this in the past, but I am this now, and I can enact power based off of what my title is, what my label is. So I think it's like it's just an abuse of power if you really think about it.
So I don't want us to get too far down on that line of thought. I agree with y'all 100%. But let's talk about what's actually going to happen in the military. So, for example, the Coast Guard just came out with a change, right? So the Coast Guard is not going to let you get marked for
Respect for others.
Respect for others.
Get above a 4.
You can't get above a 4 for that. So they basically have nullified that as a mark due to some of the different executive orders and things. They're still trying to figure out how they want to go about it. It's not a situation where they're like, oh, we just don't care about it. They just don't know how to address it now. Yeah, so they're trying to figure it out. So with that being the case, the question is like, how do you balance that in the like being in the military? So now you're in a situation where it's almost like Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
So what would be y'all's like how you handling it? Y'all doing the fork? Y'all forking people like me? You sending like what are you gonna do? How are you gonna address it?
Wait, real quick, Jordan, did they change any of your evaluation systems because of the ER?
Yeah, that's it.
No, we don't have that. What y'all call it? A mark?
EERs, like
yeah, no.
evaluation.
So no,
they
we
do have
that.
those.
We just call it evals, like evaluations, but that's not a mark on our evaluation on our evals, right? So one of the marks on our evals is called
climate or command climate.
No, it's called. I can't remember. I think it's like equal opportunity or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Or command equal opportunity, something like that.
Yeah, that's an ER block in ours.
Yeah, but that program. So we've had. Before the executive order came out, we had the command climate specialist, which dealt with equal opportunity issues, right? And then we also had the diversity officer. Now, the diversity officer, since that executive order came around, that got taken away.
That's gone.
That's gone. But our command climate specialist is still there because it's still like, discrimination against race, sex,
Yeah.
something like that. There's still discrimination, but that wasn't taken away.
Interesting.
So that block on our eval wasn't taken away
Okay.
because that's still a thing. But being an E5, really being an E5 and junior, that block doesn't really affect us. Like, we could get like maybe a 3. No, well, we're gonna get a 3 because a 2 and 1, they're like adverse marks.
So 3 is good for you guys.
So 3 for
Like
us
middle
is
ground.
like the bare, like you're doing what you
Bare
need to
minimum.
do
So our
Like
4.
average.
to succeed.
In the Coast Guard, it's a 4, and the Navy, it's a 3.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
those are the same.
I was gonna say,
You guys go
yeah,
to 4.
that's
So we
what
go
I
to
wanted
5.
to ask. So
Got
you
it.
guys go up to 5.
So
Okay.
it's
Gotcha.
like
Okay, that
3,
makes sense.
you're meeting expectations. 3,
Okay.
4,
Yeah.
you're meeting them. I mean, you still have some issues of like a junior sailor, but you're meeting them, right? You're good.
Okay.
You're doing pretty good. But 5 is like you're excelling. Like
So
you're
the 5 is where
superior.
you want to be.
And in
Yeah,
the Coast
sorry.
Guard, that is a 7.
Yeah.
We have a 7.
We go.
Yeah, we go up.
Oh, y'all are weird.
Coast Guard take it to the
Y'all
next
are
level, yeah.
Weird. Okay.
And you need a lot to even get that.
Hey, depending on
7.
who's you're in
Multiple-
your
depending
command,
on
you
who's
won't
in your
get a
command.
7. You won't see one.
Depending.
It
Yeah.
comes down to those anchors.
Yeah.
You may not get
100%.
one.
Crazy to me.
100%.
It's hey, you know what? That's another episode for another day. I'm
Right.
always ready to talk
Right.
about it. But yeah,
Right.
Wait, talk about what the difference between the Navy and the Coast Guard? Because we can do that
Oh yeah. Well,
all
yeah,
day.
well.
big Navy.
Because I do feel like that you guys are kind of like, I don't know. And it's, all I can really describe it is like, you guys are weird. Like, not like a bad
I was
kind
gonna
of
see if she
weird,
was gonna do it.
Y'all are
Around 3,
weird,
that's some boldness to
but
do it
not
around 3
like
coasters.
like a
Respect.
bad kind of weird. It's
Respect.
just y'all are just different. I think it's because you
sure.
guys have such a small
Facts.
That's
kind
what it
of
is.
amount
Yeah.
of people, and
Yeah.
like all of us, like think about it. Let's take the hub of the Navy, right? Minorities fill the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of
Not
people.
We a dime a dozen.
Not
Like,
even close.
Like,
you
my-
see another minority at your base,
I'm
like
ecstatic.
you have to get locked in. Because
Yeah,
you're
I'm
probably the
ecstatic.
only one of 5.
100%.
Yeah, no, that's
100%.
not
One to
a
5
problem
is
that arises.
real.
At least in the Navy, I can't speak for the other branches, but in the
That
Navy,
is
that's not a
crazy. Yeah,
problem.
like 1
Yeah.
to 30. It's like 1 minority to every
Yeah.
30 people in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, it's
And we only
kinda
have
crazy.
like 6 bases, so that doesn't.
Yeah.
Like definitely most, like especially most of like the like admin rate was mainly predominantly black. I think we had 1 white person in our whole department.
Really?
What minority makes up our rates? I think engineers make
It's
up
probably-
most of our minorities.
We had a lot of minorities too.
SKs by far. What do you
SK.
mean?
I'm not gonna lie, because when I
For
first joined,
sure.
when I got here to Virginia, I was
SK's
like,
used to, but SK's
SK's
now,
like-
look at our SK classes, both of ours. We were what? We were both one of 2
I was
minorities
one of
in our
2.
classes.
I only had another.
I was
person.
one
That
of
was it.
3.
She was one of 3.
I was
yeah,
one of 3.
100%.
Listen,
and both of us
yeah.
were boys.
Do you-
Everybody else was like,
but I guarantee you, every one of your classes has at least 1. In my rate, you can go probably multiple
Oh,
classes
for sure,
without
for
seeing
sure. No,
any.
100%. I agree.
Okay, yeah.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I've
Really
seen
give it
that.
to SKs then.
It's
Yeah.
definitely the SK.
SK1, what
Yeah.
do you usually see over there in Petaluma? What
As of
minority
nowadays.
usually takes over?
Well, you have to remember too, historically, support rates and where your minorities are going to go. We launched a survey long ago with Admirals who come, and we talked about trying to figure out why minorities are not in more operationally based roles in terms
That's
of
tea.
BN, BC, MK, ME. A lot of it had to do with sea time and the microaggression that black folks don't like water.
Yes, finger
That's
snaps.
true. That's true.
Poetic.
Yep.
That
We
is
found
true.
out that a lot of inner city kids didn't have access to healthy public swimming pools and couldn't afford private lessons.
That's
So they
facts.
do the bare minimum to pass in basic, but their swimming skills are not on par with them and mainly their families feeling comfortable being aboard cutters that are on water.
Right.
That includes small boat stations. So with that said, you will see more and more coming into your support rates. You'll see more yeomen, you'll see more SKs, you will see more cooks, you will see now more OSs because of the bonuses, and we'll touch on that later.
True.
But in terms of the SKs, it's kind of more of a fraternity and kind of more of a brotherhood. And because you have heat and you have air conditioning, you have walls, you have a building, you don't necessarily have to be underway for sea time, for promotion, so on and so forth. All these factors, they play into it. So kind of the safest bet for somebody to make it out of the hood or make it out of the city
Right.
and go get a steady paycheck is going to be in something where you can count on your daily bread, so to speak. Whereas in DOD, those numbers vary differently. So in the schoolhouse, Q and Olivia are right. we on average get 1 to 2, and I don't just mean people of a brown skin tone. I mean any type of minority, and that includes women.
Yes.
All of your underrepresented minorities. I think I just had the first, to my knowledge, Carter, full-blooded Native American tribal student come through. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's very rare. We do get them we get a lot of people of Asian descent. That's a little more common now. And so it's starting to diversify a little bit, but now that the recruiting numbers are fuller after this whole initiative in the past 2 years, we'll see, quite a bit more of a diversity influence coming through. But I am curious to see in the next 3 to 5 years, once we burn out these last 2 years of recruiting these cycles, if it goes back to the way it was, how myself and Shango and older people, when we joined, how it's going to look. So it's going to be interesting, especially as we're pulling money away and bonuses. Those are heavy hitters to bring people out of the city and put them into the military. And they don't want to go to DOD because they don't want to deploy. That common misconception is they come to the Coast Guard, they get put on a big white boat, and they start changing their rates real quick. And they typically come off the boat and they want to be an SK or yeoman. And that is what we see.
Right. That's where to go, guys. I'll say it 1,000 times. SK is the way, okay?
SK.
Don't go no other.
Trust me, guys.
Them
SK.
ETs are weird folks, okay? They talk to themselves.
ETs, OSs. Trust me. I'm at a DSF. You do not want to go OS.
Shango talks to himself. Don't go ET guy.
So let me clarify something here.
Let me just bring it to your attention.
All right. So when they're talking about support rates, they're saying that in the Coast Guard, these are the rates that support the people that are doing the real work.
Oh,
and
no. Wait a minute. Don't get me wrong.
Time. Hey.
Sorry, wall to wall. Let's see what the fuck you got in there. Let's see. Let me see if that's what y'all got.
Hey, this is what happens when you microaggression a strategist. I'm just telling you, I'm going to shoot back. All right, so I didn't really mean that, but if you keep coming, I got more where that came from. So, look, we can do.
Big name right now.
Listen, I can do this. I work with Navy right now. I can do this.
Let me tell you something. Any military entity, no matter what it is, there's 2 things they can't go without: logistics and admin.
And that's facts.
So I want you. Let's be real.
Hey, on our deployments, when I tell you, if we weren't there, they would be like chickens with their head cut off.
Nobody knows what to do without this stuff.
It's really horrible.
Without yeomans, you wouldn't even get certified to go to deployment. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Because
you wouldn't have your instructions.
Gotta get them claws put
Taxes
in.
got to be cut off at a certain point.
Yeah.
Then you gotta travel.
Okay.
Flights.
Hey, it's okay, y'all. Don't worry. It's all
No.
right.
We just had to let you know real quick because he's trying to one-man army this shit like it's sweet.
Y'all came from me first. I'm the minority in this situation. I'm just trying to show how you handle microaggression. See how I got them on defensive now?
Okay, don't put in no PR. Fuck all that.
We're getting denied. We don't have
Okay,
no more funds.
make sure that shit is amount based too. No, that quantity based can turn back.
Listen, my friends on the cutter, by cutter I mean a ship in the Coast Guard, were always CSs, YNs, and SKs. Those are my friends. I always rock with them. Those are the support rates. So when they say support, they mean the people that do the things that really matter.
Exactly.
On the admin side of things. So you got
the foundation. If you don't have the foundation, you don't have a house.
So you got your storekeepers. That's what 2 of these people on here are. Then you got your what you call. I'm gonna say a little weird word y'all probably never heard, yeoman. That's what she is. But these are like your administrators. So storekeepers, they deal with the parts. They're like your Amazon. The procurement. Yeah, they're
contracting. Don't try to cut us short talking about procurement, talking about Amazon.
I mean, but it's just
be like Allstate, okay? Get a claim.
Allstate.
Real life. Okay. It really is. Okay. I mean,
Allstate. That's Allstate stands.
Sign money, okay? Yes. What is on your biscuit? Let them know, okay? He trying to play. Nah, it's 3-on-2. Don't play. Wait till she unmute herself. She about to let you know.
Hey, listen. Ash know I got nothing but love, but she also heard y'all coming. Y'all came for me right now. But listen. So then you have the yeoman. Those are the administrators, okay? And very important as well. So those are the ones that handle your paper. They make sure you get paid. Yeah.
Okay? April and October are right around the corner, okay, y'all? Make sure y'all get right in the next month, y'all.
Facts.
We got high and
You
weight.
got a good yeoman in your back pocket. I mean, good
You
luck
late.
to you.
You struggling. That's what you're doing. So all of these rates are important. You know what I'm saying? So Ashley Whitlow, she was so gracious to join us for this call. She's actually stationed. She's living all the way out in California. So it's probably like, I don't even know what time, 3 hours ahead of us right now. And she's on the phone with us, taking her time out. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Ashley Whitlow's been a part of Epic since the beginning. She's been a mentor to so many people that, you know, of all different races, identities, you know, genders. It doesn't matter. She's an instructor over there and doing great things for the Coast Guard, a very valuable asset for the Coast Guard. So with that being said, I want to open up real quick to like last words on microaggressions. Give me your last final tips. Like, what is the main thing you want people to take as advice on how to deal with microaggressions? All right, I'll go with Jordan first, and then I'll throw it to you to close us out.
My main thing is just to know who you are, right? Because obviously we all have different ways of handling things. Me, I was aware that when I was younger, or still growing, right? Because I like to tell people I'm growing, I'm not grown. I'm still being worked on, I'm not fixed, right?
Okay.
So I like
that.
I live by that, right? So you just got to know who you are and how you react to certain situations, because not everything deserves your energy. Not everything deserves you to react to that.
Preserve your energy. I like
right? And by you giving people that much energy to something as small as their opinion is to me, it's crazy.
It's minute.
Right? Their opinion doesn't matter. Whatever they think doesn't matter. It's your business. It's your life. As long as it doesn't affect your paycheck. In other words, fuck them. Right? That's how I live my life. Fuck them. Doesn't involve my paycheck. It's not worth me risking. It's not worth me risking because of who I am. Like, I know I'm very reactive. I know when I get angry, I get really mad angry. Like, it's real bad.
You get active.
I get active. I stand on business. So I know this about myself. I know that I can't put myself in certain situations, i.e., I know I put myself in I can't put myself in certain situations, i.e., like, I cannot react to everything because not everything deserves that type of reaction. That type of reaction. Like, I know this about myself, so I make sure that I focus on that. I make sure that I hone that skill of restraint so I don't jeopardize my future because somebody decided to make some pussy ass comment.
Right.
Facts.
So just know yourself, know what you can react to.
I agree.
Bet. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate that.
Wisdom.
Okay, and that goes to... No, I'm not going to say that because she's still in the Coast Guard. I'm not going to say that.
Okay, Qua'rren.
Yeah, so I agree with everything, all the sentiments that, Jordan just said. I also want to give two perspectives. One on the organizational side, like for any organization, whether it's the Coast Guard, Navy, or just any business or anything, I think you should just implement and foster an environment where everyone is being inclusive. Everyone's thoughts are recognized, acknowledged, and addressed. You get what I'm saying? But respect it as well. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, we can sit here and say, we'll handle it our way. But, on the other side, it's like, for those that are, producing those microaggressions, you have to understand that, just like we respect your, opinions and things of that nature, like, you got to respect ours as well. And so I think that's a big thing. And, for on our sides, right, if you're experiencing those microaggressions, I think it's very important. Like you said, you remember what the purpose is, at hand. You know what I mean? Why do you work? Why are you here? What position do you want to go into? What is your goals, right? You don't want to affect your goals at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You have to operate a certain way so that you can achieve these things, whatever it is, that you want to achieve, personally. So I think it's very important because you don't want to say too much that's going to, like, ruin your career, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, you want to make sure that you just operate in a sense of, like, okay, I know the goal at hand, I know my purpose, this is what it is,
Operate in a sense of focus.
In a sense of focus, you know what I mean? You can't let anything, right? You're on a trajectory. You can't let anything get you off your trajectory at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the biggest thing, when you're operating these certain situations.
Okay. Real quick, I just want to say a quick shout out to our sponsor for today's episode, Kate Kilroy. Kate, how's it going? She's one of our earliest CMAP Cadet Mentorship Assistance Program mentors. And she actually was our first Epic Heritage Ball sponsor package purchaser. So she purchased a $200 sponsorship package. She led the way as far as that goes. So that just goes to show you how from the junior ranks we have people that are coming in and taking leadership roles within Epic and volunteering towards our mission of networking, building better bonds.